Hello Internet, welcome back to another episode of Pokémon Generation 1. In the last episode, we talked about the Pokemon Yellow exclusive side mode, Pikachu's Beach. I almost forgot we did that because that mode is so... it doesn't need to exist. This time, we're going to be setting out onto Route 19. A C route, as it's known in this game, but generally C routes just end up being called routes in future games with no real distinguishing between them. Before setting off, I recommend getting a bunch of Ultra Balls for a reason we'll be seeing later in this episode. I look at the sea to forget. Surfing out on the open sea is a bit boring. There's not really a lot to see out here, so... there is a lot to horsey, though. That was awesome. This episode is being recorded on, like, very little sleep. Because I don't know. I need to keep myself awake right now. I need to fix my sleep schedule, and I figure the best way to do that is to force myself to record, because I can't fall asleep if I'm recording. And if I do, hey, that's funny, and I'm uploading it anyway. But yeah, as I was saying, there's not a lot to see out in these routes. There's walls of buoys, so you can't go too far out, because if you pass them, the game would crash. There's a ton of swimmers, but frankly, they are very boring. Most of them just use Horsey, Goldeen, Staryu, Pokemon we've seen a million times already by this point in the game. But I'm still gonna fight all of them for the experience. Rhine! Jesus Christ! He's been asleep for like 20 total turns in this single battle. I'm gonna kill some. Belly flop! This guy sucked. Also, they have like a very feminine looking sprite from the front, but yeah, this guy just sucked. He hurt Ryan a lot. I would prefer my team to remain in, like, fighting condition. What's beyond the horizon? Game crash. That is the answer to that. There is a game crash beyond the horizon, my friend. Defeated yet another one. So, yeah, I don't really know these routes very well because they literally all look the same. And why is there a cluster of 4 trainers here? They're all just gonna have Horsey. They're all going to spam Smokescreen. It's gonna be so annoying. There are no new encounters out here on Route 19, but it is possible to find Tentacool here all the way from level 5 to level 40. That makes this pretty much the best spot you could possibly go if you want to add Tentacool to your team. Especially because if you get it at level 40, it'll just evolve in a single level. Yeah, this is the best place to get Tentacool. Ryan and Yumi both grew to level 39 from this fight. There's the man himself. Look at that sprite. I love Tentacruel's sprite so much in this game. He is big, he is large, and he is in charge of the entire UU tier and the C. I love him. Ooh, dangerous. Tauros is dangerous. Swimming's great. Sunburns aren't. I don't like swimming or sunburns, but I mean, to each their own, man. Oh, you're not, man. Beauty. I forgot they swim in this generation. Shocker. She used a Sea King, which is slightly more interesting. I'll give her that. I swam here, but I'm tired. Cool. Why would you swim all the way out here? Oh, I just love your ride. Can I have it if I win? Can you have my Vaporeon? No. She's a part of the team. Why are the girls just hanging out here? Like in the middle of the ocean? You should at least be swimming closer to shore, especially if you're getting tired, which is what the other girl said. Hiket grew to level 40 for meeting this lady Sea King. Oh, I lost. True. It's still a long way to go to Seafoam Islands. Is it? I don't actually know how far it is. We are now on Route 20. I can just tell because the game skipped a frame for a second there. The water is shallow here. I don't really believe that. We're in the ocean. This guy is a cloister. That's actually scary. If Razor Leaf wasn't pretty much a guaranteed one-shot, it would be scary at least, but Razor Leaf is a pretty much guaranteed one-shot with the special stat on that guy, but still, cloister is scary. Splash. I wish I could ride my Pokemon. Both of your Pokemon can learn Surf, dude. That is your own fault. So what was with that lady saying it was a long way to the Seafoam Islands? I'm pretty sure we just made it. Also, I want to fight this guy. I don't want to fight Tentacool. Level 10. Not even worth my time. Seafoam is a quiet getaway. You say that like it's a resort that people are going to for vacation, but it's just a cave. Oh, Seadra. I don't think we've even talked about this Pokemon yet, let alone seen one. It's a generic water type, like you're not missing out on much, but neat. Cool to see one. Using Leer in episode 32 of the Let's Play when we already have 6 badges, but hey, it probably just has its level up moves, and to be fair, Vaporeon did try to learn Tail Whip at level 37, so you just never know with learn sets in Gen 1. She has 3 Pokemon. Her first was a Seadra, her second was a Horsey, so naturally, this would be a Kingdra if this game was released today. And if the game developers hated you. The cat grew to level 41, beating that second Seadra. Quit it! Quit winning? Oh, that's a tough sell. We have made it, if we can read this sign, to the Seafoam Islands. Specifically this entrance, which, as we can see, is pretty much completely blocked off by buoys, meaning we have to go through the cave in order to get around. But first I'm gonna fight this swimmer. She thought she could escape me, but she cannot. Lamp grew to level 39 from beating this lady Seaking all on her own, so that's awesome. Wanna float with me? Nope. Went ahead and healed up because we have a pretty large dungeon ahead of us, so yeah. I'm gonna be leading with Gaster in here, probably for the entire dungeon. Welcome to the Seafoam Islands. A place that is much more boring in this gen than it will be in future. So, you couldn't at least be the Pokemon I need to catch here right now? There are new encounters in here, but first, let's jump down this pit. And this pit. And this pit. So, there is a current in the Seafoam Islands that we can't really go through. Danger, fast current, as you can see. It will push us out whenever we attempt to go through it, so... Hello, Krabby. Depending on where we ended up, I might have to go all the way around. Oh my god. Where am I? The Seafoam Islands can... I am spraying a Super Repel. The Seafoam Islands can be a bit confusing, especially in your first time trying to explore them. There's a lot going on here, and believe me, I couldn't understand this as a kid. I got stuck here so many times. But I do remember one time as a kid in Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, I made it here, and I made it through, and it was on a car ride to school where my mom was taking my friend to school for some reason, too. I think there was some reason that his mom couldn't drive or something, but yeah. Our goal here is to have Rhine use Strength. This is our first example of Strength being used for puzzles. One of 2 examples. I know I said earlier there was only one room in the game where strength is really used, and, well, other than one later dungeon. This is not the later dungeon I was talking about. I just completely forgot about the Seafoam Islands having a strength puzzle. So, yeah. Basically, if you see a rock, you want to push it into a hole. Pretty self-explanatory. Jumping down after it. I guess we're pushing it into another hole. You do need to use strength on every individual floor in order to be able to push rocks, even if you land right next to them, which, yeah, is stupid. Strength again. It's a rare instance of me being grateful for the HM moves being on the top of the menu of options for a Pokemon. Back up to where we started. I'm gonna jump down this hole now. And we're gonna try to push this rock. I do largely know the puzzle in the Seafoam Islands, but I know it specifically in Gen 3, and Gen 3 is slightly weird because they added the running shoes, so they just overall had to account for that with how large the tile mazes are and how wide they are and everything. Now that those two rocks are there, there's no more current here, but we can still go through here and enter this room again, which is fine. As far as I know, there's not really any items I need to be on the lookout for, so yeah. I mean, there are, but they're all hidden items, and I'm not gonna find them. There's nothing I actually noted as being particularly important, so while we're going through the Seafoam Islands, including doing remaining strength puzzles, so if you want to see the solutions, they'll be up in the corner, we're gonna go over the Pokemon that can appear here, because there are a lot of them. Let's start. Starting off with the new encounters here, Seal! Seal evolves like 4 levels after you get it, and if you wait until the later floors, you can encounter its evolved form anyways. What Dugong lacks in an interesting name and design, it makes up for in being probably the 3rd or 4th best bulky water type in the game. It doesn't have a move pool anywhere near as deep as Starmie or Lapras, but it learns Rest and Ice Beam through level up, learns Body Slam to paralyze potential threats, and is an okay user of the Horn Drill X accuracy strategy. Though it does lack speed that would be useful for taking out some heavier threats to Dugong. Dugong's special isn't the best in the world, but it's really not half bad at using Blizzard either. It's a classic example of a Pokemon being extremely outclassed, but not necessarily bad. Golduck is sort of the same deal as Psyduck. Having Amnesia, an incredibly important setup move locked behind Pokemon Stadium, does it no favors. Without Amnesia, all it can really do is spam Surf and Ice Beam and hope it won't faint if it's forced into using Rest to recover its health. It's not that Golduck is bad, but it's very outclassed, even more so than Dugong. And this is all because it doesn't get access to one move. That's just the way things are in Generation 1. Slowbro is much better. In fact, it's one of the most powerful Pokemon in all of Generation 1, being a staple of the 2 highest tiers in the most popular competitive community for the games. With access to Amnesia at level 44, along with an insane variety in moves through TM like Surf, Psychic, Blizzard, Thunderwave, Seismic Toss, Earthquake, Fire Blast, and even more through transferring to Generation 2, there's next to nothing Slowbro can't do. It's one of the most powerful Pokemon in the game. The main thing to look out for is Electric-type Pokemon. A critical hit Thunderbolt spells near certain doom for Slowbro if it lands before Slowbro is able to set up using Amnesia 3 times. Even from a Pokemon that doesn't get stabbed. Watch out for that, and one-hit KO moves, and Slowbro is sure to be one of the strongest Pokemon you could ever use. Do you have any idea how disappointing it feels going from the incredible high note that is Slowbro immediately into talking about Golbat? So let's talk about the good first. Golbat has above average speed, allowing it to use Confuse Ray or Screech to weaken an opponent and use Hyper Beam and Mega Drain to restore its health against the right opponent. I also really like its sprite in this game. Anyways, it's weak to Ice, Psychic, and Electric attacks, it lacks the ability to do much of anything against Pokemon like Ghastly and its evolutions, and overall, a lack of coverage ruins any potential this Pokemon might have. It's not at all unusable, but compared to the flying types we've already seen up to this point, there's not much good that can be said about Golbat. It's better than Pidgeot? Maybe? Seadra is an agility sweeper without access to any great coverage options. It uses agility to buff its speed, making it faster than a lot of its threats, and then uses Surf, Blizzard, Ice Beam, Hydro Pump, or a variety of other water or ice-type moves. It can use Hyper Beam. Poorly. Once again, this is a Pokemon that's unfortunately severely outclassed even by other Pokemon that appear in this area. It's not unusable, but it's only really going to be useful for taking out the same Pokemon every time. Kingler is an excellent sweeper with some clear weaknesses. It's a great user of the Swords Dance TM we picked up at Silphco, using it to boost itself to +2, then one-hit KOing a lot of common Pokemon using Hyper Beam from its already monstrous attack stat. It also gets Body Slam to paralyze Pokemon that may be faster than it, while also chipping them down enough to guarantee a knockout from Hyper Beam. And it gets Crab Hammer, a water-type move with 90 power and 85 accuracy, with a pretty much guaranteed critical hit rate, giving it the potential to do more damage than Surf. Kingler's Achilles heel is its vulnerability to being paralyzed itself. It's not immune to Body Slam paralysis, and almost any electric-type Pokemon in the game is fast enough to outspeed it and use Thunder Wave. It also can't take a special hit, like, at all, especially from an electric type. Kingler has a lot going for it, though, as long as you're willing to play around its weaknesses. You may be wondering why I'm just wandering around in a straight line over and over again with speed up enabled on the first floor of Seafoam Islands. There's a Pokemon we need to catch here that's, like, extremely rare, and I want to get it out of the way now because 1% encounters are annoying. So I'll meet you when I find one. I found one. This is a 1% encounter on the first floor in blue version only. If you're playing red or yellow, you have like a 5% chance of encountering one on the last floor. But for some reason, only in red and yellow, it's a 1% chance no matter what in Pokemon Red and Blue, or Pokemon Blue specifically. This thing is way more annoying to find than it deserves to be when you can find Slowpoke in the same area. I just genuinely think it's more convenient to catch one here. Let's just throw a Great Ball. Should hopefully work. Yep. Alright. I recommend catching a Slowbro here if you're willing to put in the time to find one, because it's genuinely faster even with the 1% chance to catch one here than to evolve a Slowpoke. Wasn't much healing to do, but still good to get that out of the way. We've done the main strength puzzle of the area as far as I know, so we can just go back to where that was and we should be good to go. Hopefully. I think it's down this ladder. And then, yes, and then it should just be along this path. No? Okay, it's down here. Look, this dungeon is maybe my least favorite in the original Red and Blue. In future appearances, this dungeon is really pretty, and that's how it makes up for being annoying. But in Red and Blue, the fact that you need to go into the menu every single time to activate strength on every individual floor, along with the fact that it just is a normal cave music, normal everything that comes with a cave, this place just sucks. Jumping down into this river, you can see another current has been blocked off, and if we head up here, would you look who it is? A static Pokemon. I recommend saving before actually interacting with this. It is a good thing I checked because my mic cable came loose again. Don't like that keeps happening. Okay. I'm leading with Gengar, I think. That is who I want to lead with. Let's do this. Articuno! Our very first legendary Pokemon encounter is okay. Articuno has an incredible special stat of 125, making it an incredibly dangerous sweeper. The The raw power of its blizzard can knock out many Pokémon, including even those that are specially bulky. It also learns agility at level 55, allowing it to boost its speed just enough that it can outspeed even those Pokémon that can move faster than it. I've only mentioned blizzard and agility so far as moves go, and that's because those two things are really just what Articuno does best. Like most other Pokemon, Double Edge and Hyper Beam are good filler moves, and you can even teach it Sky Attack if you're confident and can survive the turn of Charge Up. Articuno is very one-note. It excels at spamming agility and blizzard and not much else, but in a game where freezing is as powerful as it is, can you really fault that? So at the moment, this Articuno only knows Peck and Ice Beam, so it's not going to be doing too much damage, at least with Peck. I led with Gengar because Gengar is sort of our Pokemon catcher. He's the catcher of the team. I'm going to confuse it to try and get it to hit itself because I'm afraid of hitting it too hard. And I'll try a Psychic. I sort of just want to, like, weaken it a little bit. That was a crit, so I'm slightly less concerned with using Psychic now. It is level 50, I suppose. I didn't really think about its level, but yeah, no wonder Peck even did so much damage. It's at half health, that's about as good as we can do. Let's try to put it to sleep now. This is gonna be a pain in the ass, I can already tell. Please don't knock out. Okay. So... what now? Normally, I'd say your best bet with a legendary Pokemon would be to freeze them, but we can't freeze Articuno because it's an ice type. This is the only legendary Pokemon in the game that we'll encounter this issue with, but it is a little bit annoying because we can't really fish for freezes with Ice Beam, and even if we did, I think Yumi would probably overdo it and just knock out Articuno. Hiket's gonna have to be sacrificed in order to refill Gaster's health. That's fine. We need to put this thing to sleep before we start throwing balls at it. Hypnosis. Thank you for actually hitting. Okay, and it wakes up on the first turn, because of course it does. Okay. Stay asleep. Let's throw an Ultra Ball. 1, 2, 3. Oh, first ball! You know what? I'm not gonna complain about that. I'll take it. Articuno, the freeze Pokemon. A legendary bird Pokemon that is said to appear to doomed people who are lost in icy mountains. Am I doomed? We don't give nicknames to legendary Pokemon around these parts, unless they're members of the team, I suppose. Alright. Well, we caught our first legendary. From here, Hiket is fainted, which hurts to see, but that's fine. Hiket's not going to stay that way for too long. We just got to make it to another Pokemon Center. I am not really sure where to go from here, so I suppose we'll figure it out. My notes also say to mention that the Articuno boss fight is pretty, like, objectively the best place to use the Master Ball, just because of Articuno's outright immunity to Freeze. Freeze is genuinely a really powerful status condition, especially when capturing a Pokemon like Articuno. So, yeah, if you have a Master Ball and you're concerned about it, it's getting to low health and you haven't saved or something, just throw the Master Ball. Did we make it? Is this the correct chain of ladders to get out of here through the right exit? It looks like it is. Okay. Seafoam Islands. We're out through the other exit, which means we can actually go west, so with that done, next time on Pokemon Generation 1, we'll be going through the remainder of Route 20 and reaching the location of our next gym battle. See you guys then.